Happy July 5th, everybody. It's been a while since I've made a video. This is the carburetor that I found for my Chevy when it used to belong to the guy that I was building it for. Crunched all the numbers after Burbank Speed and Machine built the engine, and this was supposed to be the appropriate carburetor for it, but it turned out not to be. It is a Carter carburetor. Built for Chrysler under ball and ball patents. This carburetor turned out to be too small as far as air cubic feet per minute flow. Found out that it was only allowing about 180, maybe 190 to max 210 CFM. And the GM270 that Dave built at Burbank Speed and Machine requires at least 400. So I've mic'd the Venturi here at the bottom of the carburetor, and it is 1 7/16 diameter. And the important thing is to know is that with a smaller Venturi, the air can only flow through it so fast. And also, you can see the restriction inside is a lot smaller. So it's not so much this ID here as it is the one on the inside of the Venturi. What happens is, as you accelerate, the air moves through the Venturi, which is a restricted opening, creating a high pressure at the top and a low pressure at the bottom, and the low pressure acts as a vacuum. And yes, I did say that correctly, and we all know it is vacuum. There's no such thing as suction unless you're drinking soda. Still, that's vacuum anyway. Anyway, so the air speeds up, causes a low pressure beneath, and draws fuel from the main fuel jet. That's how the gasoline flows through the carburetor. So I removed this one, and I had found a Stromberg carburetor about 4.5 years ago, and I put that on the Chevy. So we're going to go take a look at that and talk about that for a minute. Alright, so we're here in the engine compartment of the Chevy. As I've mentioned before in the previous videos, this engine here is a first series GM270. Several changes have been made to it. It has a 302 head on it, and people who know will say that's not compatible because the pistons from World War II were dome top, much like a Hemi, and that's true. However, I had Eggy Machine Shop turn out some pistons for it, and this engine had never been rebuilt, so it's only, I think, 20 over, maybe 10 thousandths over, and 5 thousandths under on the crankshaft journals. So there's a big cam in it, American Cam Grinding, I believe, was the people that reground the cam, and it has 440 lift and 276 duration. So it's I don't know the specs and all that stuff, but it has what's known as a square grind, so the engine doesn't sit and lump, but blah 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 like that. You know, it has a very smooth idle. but there's a lot of horsepower and torque. We dynoed it at 245 at the flywheel. So the problem with not having a carburetor that breathes or allows enough CFM flow and fuel flow is that the engine will run out of power sooner. It'd be like going to McDonald's, getting 5 of their drinking straws, putting them in your mouth, and then trying to run a sprint marathon. Can't do it. You just run out of air. Anyway, so I measured the intake of the other carburetor across the top here, and what we have on the Stromberg it's where the 0 is, right here. So we have 2 7/16 inch diameter plus a 32nd, so 2 7/16 inch full. The other carburetor was 2 5/16 full, so we have a full 1/8 inch more diameter up here for airflow. And I measured the venturis. I can't show you now because obviously the carburetor is installed. They were 3/16 of an inch bigger each, so I'd have to go look at the numbers. I'll put a description at this point in the video down below what they are. Anyway, so I had to make this. Would have made a good video, but I forgot. I had to make this bell crank here, and there's another one coming up here. So it's all just bolt together, and the aftermarket throttle assembly is cable actuated, and now I have a choke, which is good. The other carburetor didn't have a choke on it. But I haven't run the engine in a few days, so let's give her a little kick in the guts and see what happens. And get the camera set up here. Hopefully it won't slide off the fender. But I went for a ride. Much better carburetor. I like that a lot. For some reason, the other carburetor would lose gasoline from the float bowl, and I'd have to prime it all the time. Anyway, I rebuilt this carburetor probably, let's see, the summer, 4 years ago, the summer of 2019. I had an accident at work. I think I've spoken about that before, and went about 12 feet onto the back of my skull onto concrete, which was not fun. It really fucked me up. So this was one of the first projects I did to rewire my brain and my fingers. I knew what to do. It was just super difficult to do it because my fingers wouldn't work. They wouldn't do what my brain wanted. So anyway, I only made one mistake, and that was with the needle and seat on the inside of the carburetor that you can't see. Maybe I'll have to tighten these screws down. I see a little bit of moisture coming from that gasket, but overall it was a big success. And because this is just a talk about video, I'm going to keep it short and end it here because I think we're at just about 9 inches. So thanks for watching my video. Hope everybody had a great day yesterday. Happy 4th of July for yesterday, and happy 5th of July for today. Later.